Today is July 1st, 2022. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good rotation of the earth. May the peace of the Holy Spirit be with you. If this is your first time joining us, I welcome you. The circumstances which have placed the world crown into motion obligate me to tell you that mass media, political news, and general information are in a state of emergency. During this emergency, health information, business information, investment information, educational information, weather information, meteorological information, scientific information, organizational information, religious information, government information, information on television, information on radio, and information from wireless services are affected. There has been no official or unofficial contact that has reached us from any major political party or government, from any major business or organization, or lawyers representing them. There has been no official or unofficial contact that has reached us from Islam or from the Catholic Church. No official or unofficial contact has reached us from any major religious group to complain about us, to minister to us, or to contest our presence or the judgment of God. The judgment of God has brought to justice hierarchies of corrupted priests, monks, and clerics from the world's major religions. The judgment of God has brought to justice corrupted political officials, corrupted leaders of business and industry. The judgment of God is bringing to justice Freemasonry, communism, socialism, democracy, and all forms of political, organizational, medical, and business corruption. No critical contact has been made with our offices by phone or visits. Our beach offices in Mazatlan are friendly, have no guards, and no red tape. Our telephones are giving good technical support from Telmex and Telcel. We enjoy good technical support from France, the United States, and Mexico. And we have a lot of moral support all over the world, thank goodness. Our schedule in the first part of this address is the invocation, followed by a few questions and answers, business and banking, regulation, economy, law enforcement, public health, education, and benediction. The invocation. My heavenly Holy Spirit, I pray today's edification bless and make glad the people. I pray people's minds and souls are at rest and made wiser each day. We're going to start with some questions and answers. Question: why don't you talk about the problems in the news? I talk about the problems with the news. In order for me to validate any news topic presented in the news, regulators must validate the news with me. So far, no contact by phone or visit has been made with us by regulators or news agencies, not even to complain. Question: how are things in Mexico? It is very peaceful in Mazatlan. I am with friends, my family, and my mother and father who have retired to Mexico after living most of their lives in the United States. I am happy with the technical support we receive in Mexico. Tourism is steady, but things could always be better. Question: do your phones work? Our phones are in good working order. and we confirm incoming calls, but nothing critical. A threat came in not long ago, but that was different. The police and I discussed the threat in our offices at length. Question: why did you call around? I have very strict World Crown protocols. They include not calling around, to continue working as I do, and overseeing emergency services until critical contact has been made with our offices. Question: what is an emergency service? An emergency service is usually a government public service. It may form in anticipation of a war, during a war, or as a result of a war. That's the short answer. Question: why does the judgment of God need to be made public? Well, most importantly, the communists, which control lots of mass media and who do not believe in God, are certainly not going to tell you or write in their news that communism is being judged by God, together with many other things. The judgment of God is made public for the welfare of people and government to help them respond as it progresses. What is an emergency government? The World Crown is an emergency central government. It is set up to compensate for a declining organizational central control of the world. What every nation has around the world are emergency governments at the local and state level. There are administrations which carry out some of the tasks of central governments, but it is not the same. Why did you choose EBS? I grew up with an emergency service called EBS, the Emergency Broadcast System. EBS was broadcasted to KFWB News 98, which my stepfather listened to religiously inside his television repair business in which I grew up. The Emergency Broadcast System of 1963 replaced a previous emergency broadcast system. EBS itself was replaced in 1997 by EAS, which has made no contact with us, nor has the FCC. As a courtesy to world citizens, we have created CCBM, which has revived the EBS. It has a webpage at CCBM. What do you think an emergency alert system should do? Well, a good EAS system provides the public with a measure of protection and hard-to-get information, especially during a news and information emergency. The World Crown operates hundreds of emergency services for news, business, government, and organizations such as Interpol, the World Bank, and the World Health Organization. These offer hard-to-find information, such as the fact that news and information are in a state of emergency, and the world is in a judgment of God, which has been made public. Now, that must sound wild to many of you who don't go to church, but even if you do attend a church, it seems rare to read about the judgment of God in a journalistic platform. It's been done before. Generations ago, newspapers like the Tribune and even the Herald used to put the world on trial. Today, their legacies carry on through MMX, the Tribune, AE, Angelcraft Emissions, the Daily Page by Angelcraft Crown Media and News Company, or its Spanish equivalent at ABN Americas. These are very different from mainstream media, which carry numerous Big Brother puppet dictatorships, the standard oligarchy platform, and a false pope to please the religious people. That's it. Section A3. Last month's question and answers may help answer questions for new people just joining us. After many years in progress, the World Crown has made the judgment of God public starting in 2011-2012. Click on the link for questions and answers for the month of June. Business and banking. Business and banking are generally stable. You can still buy almost anything with your good credit. At the Crown Corporation, I said sometimes things need to be done by faith, especially when it joins with the providence of God. We invite you to read our latest page. There I wrote, international economies have been built. People's reliance on banks, business and money and jobs is unprecedented. If I did not do what the Holy Spirit expected me to do with regards to judging business and setting up TCC and JC Angelcraft, the world might collapse into a disorganized, chaotic depression. Naturally, in such a depression, the poor, who are accustomed to barely surviving, would fare much better than those who rely on banking, business, and their jobs. You can read the entire posting at its place at TCC, the Crown Corporation. Section A5, regulation. Organizational and government regulation has not communicated with us with regards to the hundreds of emergency services we operate and our own private regulation company, CCBF. With God's authority and with the blessing of the Holy Spirit do we operate. With God's authority, this world continues, but I want more. I want the world to be happy where it is sad. I want the world to be prosperous where it is poor. I want the world to be blessed where it is cursed. Right now, the judgment of God blesses the world with justice every single day. When critical communications are made with the World Crown, we will let you know. In April of this year, I discussed news consortiums, which are important. See Section A4 for the month of April 2022. In 2019, we began the first steps in the new public health militaries, which were sabotaged by the coronavirus conspiracy. Better government, better organizations, better health systems, better banking, better business, better militaries, better police worldwide are still our goal and every nation's goal. The daily page in English or Spanish may be interpreted into any language of the world. The World Health Organization's emergency information portals in Spanish and English may be translated into any language in the world. The Office of the Director of Intelligence for Interpol may be interpreted into any language in the world. Section A6, the economy. Around the world, we have created many economies and economic systems which need to be maintained, kept up, and always improved. It's always a good idea to be wise with your money. You can still buy a car, merchandise, or even a house on credit. Despite high interest rates, which will one day be lowered to bolster economic relief, good banking infrastructure is still in place. Fixing problems in our systems will take time. You must continue to pray, be patient, and know that the judgment of God is here to make things markedly better than they are. Law enforcement, A7. Police, firemen, law enforcement officers, and government workers, whether or not your municipality, county, state, or nation has advised you and told you the nature of our situation, continue steady in your job. Stability is important. The power of the Holy Spirit will help you. Repeating what I said last month, we know all central governments have totally declined. Many are being run fictitiously. It's important for local and state governments to find a way to communicate with the World Crown for logical reasons, especially by the fact the World Crown leads the world in transparency for each nation. We can solve any problem, and by fighting terrorism and bringing terrorists to justice in every nation, we are solving many problems. Public health. Section 8. Public health is still a big area of concern. News and information are also a matter of public health. New emergency services have opened. For matters of health, the World Health Organization's emergency information portals in Spanish and English can be translated into any language in the world. For matters of news, the daily page in English at Angelcraft Crown Media News Company may be interpreted into any language in the world. The daily page in Spanish at ABN Americas can be translated into any language in the world. For law enforcement, the Office of the Director of Intelligence for Interpol can be translated into any language in the world. An important part of the judgment of God is how we organize to help each other while it is in progress and in the aftermath of each wave of justice. Education, section A9. Teachers teach on sunny days, rainy days, cloudy days, and stormy days. I will remind you basic education, math, literacy, and science do not change very much. There are many issues about education which we all have to work on together in every nation. Areas of concern are evolution. The ice ages have been brought into question. Dinosaurs have proven to be a conspiracy, together with the story of a giant meteor which supposedly wiped them out. We have many things to work on together in education in the near future, and I look forward to a positive future for education. That ends the first half of this program. I thank the Holy Spirit for being able to provide it for you. I ask the Holy Spirit to bless the second half of our address coming up shortly.